Hello, how are you? Happy belated Halloween. Well, one has to have a good time, even midst of COVID-19 turmoil. Well, I would say, especially uh, this Corona turmoil time. So I decided to have a little fun, and you can laugh at me, of course. That's what I mean, anyway. Today, it just passed a few days ago in Japan, uh, Culture Day. I think it's very cultural. I mean, uh, well, having Culture Day as a public holiday in this country is wonderful, I would say. I wanted to say. Well, so I would like to talk about a little bit about the culture. Oops. First of all, okay, the culture, it came from etymological point of view, culture came from the Latin, uh, I would say calura or carutura or something like that. Well, it came to French, the cloutier, and it became culture. Well, the original meaning of this cloutier or cultura means to take care of the soil, uh, cultivate the soil. It means, okay, people used to travel. It's a little too hot. Sorry. This is better, isn't it? Okay. Now I'm transferring. Uh, People used to travel following food. Well, mainly animals, big animals, to hunt. Well, in order to eat, it means to live. But when people started taking care of the soil, or I would say cultivate the soil, it means people learned how to grow, uh, rice, fruits, grains, wheats, etc. for their food. So, cultura also means grow as well. Also, French cultier, it means also, today it means culture. Also, it means cultivate, grow. So people start growing their crops. Then, when people stop traveling all the time, people started to share the similar, perhaps body language or ways of communicate among people. Then they started to share, and soon, perhaps it was maybe visual sign like that. Well, then people could understand if the person in front of you is angry at you, upset with you, or uh, likes you, etc. Or maybe other group is coming to steal your food. Then people would pound the sticks or drums to make a noise or make a fire or make smoke to let your kind of people living together know about that. Then also people started to first maybe, I don't know, booga booga booga, or waga waga waga, woo 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 woo, that kind of signs. Then they started to say hello. They eventually, I love you, or I'm happy, I'm sad, how are you? I'm fine, thank you, that kind of thing would later on develop, of course. Then along with that, music to drawing to dances would develop, right? So, but then all I wanted to say is culture came from growing crops. In order to do that, you have to take care of the soil, cultivate the soil. So that's the etymology point of view as far as the English word culture means. Well, culture, you hear, okay, culture shock, cultural differences, or subculture. Well, do you know the meaning of subculture? Well, subculture is, of course, it's talking about one particular kind of a culture which shared with a particular group. No, it means such a particular group of people share kind of similar way of life, living, thinking, food, or language. And a subculture is part of it, but that particular groups of culture is different from the rest of the society. That is subculture. So when you talk about subculture, we have to be careful because subculture to some people is something scary, weird, or strange. But for others, it could be something exotic, attractive, or wonderful. So it can be plus or minus image. Now, I don't know, in Japan, do you do particular things on the Culture Day? I'm not so sure, but I know there are many schools hold their culture festivals or cultural festivals, whatever. It has a little small difference in meaning, but never mind. Well, criticizing the culture that we do all the time, but particularly if you criticize your own culture or your own country, the systems, the people of the country, if you do it on your own, I think it is allowed, and I have no problem with that. But if somebody else, especially foreign people, criticize your people or your language or your country or the systems or the governments or the culture, I don't think that is nice. I certainly would get pretty upset if foreigners criticize my country or my people or my language, etc. It's same kind of thing, I guess, if in Japanese, foreigners say gaijin, calling themselves like that. I don't think there's any problem. But then somebody else would call them, then those foreign people might feel a little hurt or uneasy about that. So be careful when you criticize somebody else's country, people, or culture, or even somebody else's who lived in some countries or have very, very strong connection or some of the part of their cultures are definitely part of those people, don't you dare, don't you ever criticize any countries which involved in those people, or especially your friends. That's careless that people do that. But then, it's 21st century today, and we are international. So, put that kind of old thing behind, and be more international. Then, it is pretty common for foreigners living in other countries for a long time. Then we started to choose what kind of people you are associated with. There are people who are not international. Certainly, those international people do not know how to deal with them. I certainly don't know how to have even a friendship with those who are pretty ignorant about other cultures or other people's sensitivity, without thinking of those people, just criticize, your country or the nation of your country or systems, whatever. Even religions, languages, food, way of living, even the sight. I don't think we should be criticizing somebody else's country. Maybe you can do it your own country. So those are kind of the thing I'm thinking about, like according to Cultural Day, because we do have cultures all over the world, and people with culture should live toward peace rather than war or fighting against one another. Thank you very much. Until next time, take care of yourself, and happy belated Halloween and happy Culture Day of Japan. Take care.